Welcome to round 2 of the world's 2010 tournament run at Full Grip Games on the night before the Destined Rivals 6K. If you haven't watched round 1, head on over to that video before getting into this round. On the left, we have Luna, piloting LuxChomp. Luna's game plan is to use a combination of LuxChomp C's Dragon Rush and LuxRay GL's Bright Look Poke Power to take quick and easy prize cards, or slow down the early game with Dialga's Deafen Attack, all supported by the Cyrus's Conspiracy Engine. On the right, we have Tony, piloting Healix. Tony's deck aims to set up Steelix with its Energy Stream attack and replenish its HP with a combination of healing item cards and Chansey's Nurse Call Poke Power, while reducing damage with special metal energy to keep it alive as long as possible to power up Gaia Crush to sweep the opponent. Quick note before we get started. My camera was giving me a lot of grief the day of the tournament, so unfortunately these runs are a bit blurry compared to the previous event. Between the narration and the images provided on screen, I thought that it'd be salvageable. Next time I'll have a better setup. So without further ado, let's get into the game. Tony's opening hand is a Pokemon Communication, Life Herb, Chansey, Expert Belt, Basic Metal Energy, Special Metal Energy, and a Volkner's Philosophy. Luna's opening hand contains Bronzong G, Garchomp C Level X, Pokemon Collector, Power Spray, Lucario GL, Azelf, and a Professor Oak's New Theory. Luna wins the coin flip and starts us off. She draws and benches Azelf, using Time Walk, searching her prizes and revealing a Uxie Level X, exchanging it with a card from her hand. She ships the turn. Tony draws and plays Luxury Ball, searching his deck for a Pokemon, revealing Onix, putting it into his hand. He plays Pokemon Communication, putting Onix back into his deck, finding Onix again. He benches Onix and attaches an Expert Belt to it. He attaches a Metal Energy to Chansey. He plays Volkner's Philosophy, discarding a special Metal Energy, drawing 4 cards. He ends his turn. Luna draws and plays Pokemon Collector, searching her deck and revealing Uxie, LuxRay GL, and Garchomp C, putting them into her hand. She benches both Garchomp and LuxRay, attaching an energy gain to LuxRay. She passes. Tony draws and benches Pachirisu. He attaches a special Metal Energy to Chansey. He plays Professor Oak's New Theory, shuffling his hand into his deck, drawing 6 new cards. He evolves his benched Onix into Steelix, and benches another Onix. He uses Chansey's Pulled Punch attack, dealing 40 damage to Bronzong. Luna draws her turn and plays Pawn, shuffling and drawing 6. She attaches a double colorless energy to Garchomp C. She sends it over to Tony. Tony draws and attaches plus power to Steelix. He plays Volkner's Philosophy, discarding Chansey, drawing 4 cards. He uses Chansey's Pulled Punch attack, dealing 10 damage. Luna draws her turn and plays SP Radar, putting a card from her hand on top of her deck, searching for an SP Pokemon, revealing LuxRay GL Level X. She passes. Tony draws and plays Pokemon Communication, putting Uxie on top of his deck, searching for a Pokemon, revealing Steelix, and evolving his benched Onix. He plays Professor Oak's New Theory, shuffling and drawing 6 new cards. He attaches a double colorless energy to Steelix. He retreats into Steelix, and attacks with Energy Stream, attaching a special Metal Energy from his discard pile to Steelix, dealing 50 damage thanks to Expert Belt, taking the knockout and drawing a prize card. Luna promotes LuxRay and draws her turn. She benches another Garchomp C. She levels up LuxRay GL, bringing up the bench Steelix with Bright Look. She uses Poke Turn, putting LuxRay and all cards attached into her hand, promoting Garchomp C. She benches LuxRay GL and attaches Energy Gain to Garchomp. She levels up Garchomp C into Garchomp C Level X. She benches Uxie, drawing 5 cards off setup. She retreats into Garchomp C, attaching a Warp Energy, switching back into Garchomp C Level X. She uses Dragon Rush, discarding a double colorless energy, dealing 80 damage to the bench Steelix. Tony draws her turn and plays Life Herb, flipping Tails. Tony plays another Life Herb, flipping another Tails. Tony plays Moo Milk, flipping Tails and then Heads, healing 30 damage from his bench Steelix. He plays Professor Oak's New Theory, shuffling and drawing 6 new cards. He attaches a Metal Energy to his active Steelix and ends his turn. Luna draws and plays Cyrus's Conspiracy, searching her deck for a Supporter, Team Galactic Tool, and a Basic Energy, revealing Baby's Search, Energy Gain, and a Metal Energy, putting them into her hand. She attaches a Metal Energy to her benched Garchomp C, attaching an Energy Gain as well. She retreats into Garchomp C and uses Earthquake, dealing 50 damage to Steelix and 10 to all of her benched Pokemon. Tony draws and plays Moo Milk, flipping 1 Heads, healing 30 damage from his active Steelix. He plays Judge, with both players shuffling their hands into their decks and drawing 4 cards. He passes to Luna. Luna draws and plays SP Radar, putting a card from her hand on top of her deck, searching and revealing a Garchomp C Level X. She levels up Garchomp C, healing all damage from each of her SP Pokemon in play, and also from her Lake Trio by accident. She attacks with Dragon Rush, discarding 2 energy, dealing 80 damage to Tony's bench Steelix. Tony draws and plays Life Herb, finally flipping heads, healing 6 damage counters from his bench Steelix. Tony plays Moo Milk, flipping 2 more heads, healing the remaining damage from his bench Steelix. He plays Pawn, shuffling his hand into his deck, drawing 6 new cards. He evolves Chansey into Blissey, and uses its Nurse Call Poké Power, discarding a Call energy, healing the final 2 damage counters from his active Steelix. He attaches a special metal energy to his active Steelix and uses Energy Stream, dealing 30 damage and attaching a special metal energy to Steelix. Luna draws and plays Roseanne's Research, searching her deck for a basic lightning energy and a Dialga G, putting them into her hand. She benches Dialga and attaches a metal energy to it. She retreats into LuxChomp and uses Dragon Rush, taking the knockout on Pachirisu and taking a prize card. Tony draws and attacks with Energy Stream, dealing 30 damage and attaching a Call energy to Steelix. Luna draws. She retreats into Luxray and levels it up, gusting up Blissey with the Bright Look Poké Power. She attaches a Lightning energy to Dialga G. She plays Professor Oak's New Theory, shuffling and drawing 6 new cards. She plays Luxury Ball, searching for a Pokemon and revealing Crobat G, putting it into her hand. She passes to Tony. Tony draws, takes no game actions, and passes back to Luna. Luna draws and plays Poketurn, returning Luxray and all cards attached to her hand, promoting Garchomp C. She benches Luxray GL. She plays Bebe's Search, putting a card from her hand on top of her deck and searching up a Uxie level X, putting it into her hand. She retreats into Uxie and levels it up. She uses the trade-off Poké Power, looking at the top 2 cards of her deck, putting one into her hand and the other on the bottom. She ends her turn. Tony draws and attaches a special metal energy to Blissey. He attaches an Expert Belt to Blissey and attacks with Return, dealing 40 damage to Uxie and drawing 2 cards. Luna draws and plays Roseanne's Research, searching her deck and revealing a basic lightning energy and a Crobat G, putting them into her hand. She attaches a basic lightning energy to Uxie and uses trade-off, looking at the top 2 cards of her deck, putting one into her hand and the other on the bottom. She retreats into Garchomp C and passes. Tony draws and attaches a Call energy to Chansey. He plays Judge, with both players shuffling and drawing 4. He attacks with Chansey's Return, dealing 40 damage and drawing 2 cards. A quick pause. An Expert Belted Chansey should have dealt 80 damage thanks to Garchomp's colorless weakness. This doesn't change the outcome of the game, but I wanted to mention it. Pokemon is hard sometimes. Back to the game. Luna draws and plays Aaron's Collection, putting a basic lightning and metal energy from her discard pile into her hand. She attaches a metal energy to Dialga G. She retreats into Garchomp C and accidentally double attaches, putting a double colorless energy onto Garchomp, and uses Dragon Rush, discarding a double colorless energy and dealing 60 damage to the bench Steelix. Tony draws and plays a Moo Milk, flipping 1 heads, healing 30 damage from Steelix. He retreats into Steelix and attaches a Call energy to his active Steelix. Tony attacks with Steelix's Gaia Crush, dealing 100 damage to Garchomp, knocking it out, and he takes a prize card. Luna promotes Dialga and draws Return. She plays Poketurn, returning Garchomp C and all cards attached to her hand. She benches Garchomp C, attaching an energy gain to it. She attaches a basic lightning energy for turn to Dialga G and levels it up. She attacks with Remove Lost, flipping 1 heads, dealing 60 damage, and lost zoning a special metal energy from Steelix. Tony draws Return and attempts to use Nurse Call. Luna responds with Power Spray, preventing the effect of Chansey. Tony plays Judge, with both players shuffling and drawing 4 cards. He attacks with Steelix's Energy Stream, dealing 30 damage and attaching a special metal energy to Steelix. Luna draws and plays Cyrus's Conspiracy, searching and revealing Bebe's Search and an energy gain. She uses Dialga's Remove Lost, flipping Tails, taking the knockout on Steelix and taking a prize card. Tony promotes Steelix and draws Return. He attacks with Energy Stream, dealing 50 damage thanks to Expert Belt, and attaches a special metal energy from his discard pile to Steelix. Luna draws and plays Bebe's Search, searching up a Garchomp C level X and putting it into her hand. She uses Uxie's Trade-Off, looking at the top 2 cards of her deck, putting one into her hand and the other on the bottom. She retreats Dialga into Garchomp C, leveling it up and healing all damage from her Pokemon SP in play. She plays Night Maintenance, shuffling a Metal Energy, Garchomp C, and Garchomp C level X back into her deck. She attaches an energy gain to Dialga G. At this point, time is called in the round. With both players tied on prize cards, the player to take the next prize wins the game. Luna passes the turn. Tony draws Return, attaches a Call energy, and announces Gaia Crush for 120 damage thanks to Expert Belt, going ahead on prize cards, and Tony wins the game. That was a close match. Luna was able to deal significant amounts of damage early on with Dragon Rush, but Tony's healing items and Poké Powers proved too much to handle. Tony's board of tanky Pokemon slowed down the prize trade where SP would usually jump ahead, allowing him to eke out a win when time was called, going ahead on prizes thanks to an expert-belted Gaia Crush from Steelix, dealing 120 damage, which one-shots any of Luna's Pokemon in play. Tune in tomorrow for round 3 of our 2010 tournament at Full Group Games. This has been the Holland Scientist. Until next time.